Now, as well as being able to draw graphs when given an equation that looks something like this, you've got to be able to look at a graph and then find certain key points, and then from that be able to come up with an equation. So if we have a look at this graph, we go through one cycle between 0 and 4 pi. So if that's the length of our cycle, one thing we can say is that our period equals 4 pi. So if our period equals 4 pi, this implies that 2 pi over n equals 4 pi. So therefore, n equals 1 over 2. Okay, so we've already got a coefficient of x. Now, looking at our graph, we can see that we've got a range of -4 to 4. That tells me we have an amplitude of 4, because it moves 4 away from 0. Given that we've got a median point, a mean point of 0, we don't have a value of k at all. Now, we know a standard cos starts at 1 or at its maximum, works its way down and goes back up. But this graph starts at its minimum, works its way up to its maximum in the middle, and then the other way. So we know it's got to be negative. So based on all this information, we know we're going to have a negative function. Now, from there we can say that we have y equals -4 cos of 1 over 2x. That can also be written as -4 cos x over 2. Now, that's one possible equation. There may be another one. If we look at moving our y-axis across a little bit to there, now it kind of looks like a sine graph. And we have a sine graph that has a phase shift. So if that's where our sine graph is, we can say that it is moved over to the right, or rather, we'd say that all of our values have been moved to the right by pi. Because it starts off at 0, normal graph would start here. Normal sine graph would start here. So we'd start here at 0 and 0, move up to 4, and then come down, and then back up at 4 pi. So here we're at pi, here we're at 2 pi, here we're at 3 pi, here we're at 4 pi. So basically what's happened there is that we've got a sine graph, we've got the same amplitude, but it hasn't been inverted at all. So we say we've got y equals 4 sine, and now what we can see is that it has been phase shifted to the right by pi. So it would start here instead of starting here. So it's been phase shifted to the right by pi. So we'd say we've got x minus pi. Now, our period kind of makes a bit of a mess of things. What ends up happening is that we have we're going to need a coefficient of x. So that becomes 4 sine, a set of brackets here, a half x minus pi. goes now. This half, that's the coefficient of x, and that tells us that that allows us to have a period of 4 pi. And then we will also include our phase shift. We've got to make sure we put this in first. So, got to make sure we put this in inside a set of brackets because we've got our phase shift happens before our dilation.